What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Comic Collectors State of the Union Vidcast. Joining you, as always, my name is Jake. You guys know me as Superman, and with me is the Prez himself. We got Izzy, we got the VP, LT in the house, bearded comic guy, Ian, and then Ruby joining from the Batcave. How's it going, guys?
Good.
Hello.
How you doing?
Awesome. So this is our second episode here, State of the Union, and we have a very fun conversation that we're about to have. As you've seen throughout the week, we've had some polls on our Instagrams on just who the best Batman is. And obviously, all five of us here are massive Batman fans, so it's going to be an interesting conversation and debate. I guess getting it started, basically our ground rules were we stuck to the live action with one exception. So we had Adam West, Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Christian Bale, Ben Affleck, and Kevin Conroy. So those are kind of the, I guess, main guys that we have. But I guess starting out is who do you have, I guess, is your favorite Batman, and then maybe a runner-up for you?
Who's starting?
You, buddy.
You.
Oh, me! Oh, look at that. You don't want me to start.
I want you to start.
Okay. All right. See, my favorite Batman, believe it or not, first was Michael Keaton. And then what we're going to do is skip a few, because that's just how it's going to be. Because I was skipping the rest of the Batmans. Sorry, Ian. And I think Christian Bale, and then it came to Ben Affleck being Batman. When it ended up being a tie for me was Christian Bale and Ben Affleck. But I think that the essence of what Batman should be ended up being Ben Affleck. So I that's my favorite. As of right now, is Ben Affleck.
There you go.
Someone else take it and see what they think.
Awesome. LT, do you concur with Mr. Iz, or do you have somebody different?
I have someone totally different and animated. Of course, I've got to go with Kevin Conroy. 1992's Batman, the animated series, and every spin-off after that. His voice has been the Batman for a long time. Probably a good generation of kids have followed him as far as his voice. He's got such a distinct tone in how he talks as Batman and as Bruce Wayne. So his iteration of Batman, like I said, has been in 3 different incarnations of the Batman animated series. You got the Adventures of Batman and Robin, the New Batman Adventures. You have him in Justice League Unlimited, but before that was Batman Beyond. You hear his voice in countless video games, just because of his voice kept him, I guess, a strong Batman, I guess, to everyone. So that's why I chose him. My backup second would probably be Michael Keaton, 1989's Batman. Only because I kind of grew up watching his movies, and who doesn't love Beetlejuice? Who does, Mr. Mom? But he himself also was, everyone dismissed him as being Batman, but when he came out, everyone just fell in love with him. So because of that, he's my second.
Solid choice. And Ian, I know Batman's one of your favorite guys, so who do you have as your favorite and then runner-up?
This is definitely tough because it's same as LT, Michael Keaton or Kevin Conroy. I don't know who is my favorite. And all of these movies and shows mean something different to me growing up. I was talking about how even Batman and Robin from '97 is still one of my favorite movies. It's probably one of the first superhero movies I saw as a kid. I was born in '90, So as bad as Clooney and his nipples were in that movie, it's still, Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze and his one-liners, man, they were just so great. I loved it, but Keaton going back, going with Nicholson and, that Batman movie, like that was so good, so freaking good. But Conroy, that was every Saturday. I waited to hear his voice in the episode that was on that week, and it aged so well too. I can still sit down with my son now, watch all those shows, and it's still so incredible.
I definitely feel you there. I agree completely. Ruby, I know this is a big topic for you. Very curious to see who you have as your favorite. I think I know who yours is, but why don't you let us know who your favorite and then your runner-up?
Sure. So it's obviously Michael Keaton, but 89 Batman's a big influence on me, obviously, but also Batman Returns, just because I love Catwoman and Batman together. But I'm going to go with Lego Batman as my runner-up. I know that's an underdog, but I love him. He's hilarious and adorable, and I love that he microwaves lobster.
There
and that's it. That's all.
Awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, so for me, I actually thought this was going to be an easy answer for me, but I actually am changing my answer. I guess this is the first time I've really thought about it long and hard. So obviously, I've said it before. I grew up with the Batman animated series, so Kevin Conroy's voice is always tied to Batman with me. All the incarnations of it, the games. I mean, I've grown up for literally since I was a little boy, hearing him as Batman. That being said, he is my runner-up. Ben Affleck is my favorite Batman. Reason being is...
That's true.
The reason being is Kevin Conroy delivers a great voice, but because Ben had to physically and, literally play the action, the look, wear the suit, make the moves, do the smirk. That's why I'm giving him the nod. I actually always said, like, if you could take Kevin Conroy's voice and stick it on Ben Affleck's body, like, then you got the perfect Batman. Yeah. But for me, I mean, the gray and black suit, like, I close my eyes and, like, he is literally just Bruce Wayne coming off the page. Like, if you've seen some of the side-by-side, like, pictures of, like, a Bruce Wayne from the comics to Ben, I mean, it's literally split images. It's really cool. So I like what they did with Batman v Superman. I think the Justice League criticism is well-deserved, but that wasn't his fault. Like, he played the version they asked him to play, but what they were going for in the solo Batman, I think that would have came out. He's my guy. But Kevin Conroy, obviously, you can't go wrong. So that's my favorite. So we have 2 Afflecks and 3 Conroy, 3 Keatons?
Yep.
All right, so I guess I'll flip this around. Who is? I feel like it's going to be pretty unanimous.
We're not done with this subject yet. You know that, right?
We're going to circle back around. We're going to circle back around. Yeah,
okay.
All right. We're going to circle back around. So what I was getting at is, since there's 2 Afflecks and 3 Keatons, let's focus on this. Did you guys the 3 of you? Did you guys like Affleck? And if so, what made you choose Keaton over him?
I'll take it first. So I was going to jump on what you were saying. For me, I loved Affleck. I wish they did him better justice than what he got. Where Batman versus Superman, the story that they were, building up to with, they already had Jason Todd dead, so that meant that there was a Nightwing out there. Potentially there could have been Red Hood. We could have had Tim Drake already there. So they chopped that story up. And if we could have had, an older Batman, we didn't have to go through the, origin again. Yeah. We all know it and we don't need it. They went through it with, Christian Bale, and they did it right with it, but I don't think they did Affleck justice. I think he would have killed it. I loved every time that he portrayed it in that and Justice League, that he was fantastic, but I don't think that he ever got a chance to be Batman, be on a screen and, really show people that he he could do it, you know, and he went into that role already, you know, steps down because everyone was bashing him from Daredevil and all the other films that they, you know, did, you know, just like was it Patterson's Getting Right Now. No one's giving him a chance, you know, and I think Affleck killed it, and I wish that we could have gotten a solo Affleck Batman movie, and he could have very well been my favorite.
Yeah. What about you, LT?
What sold me as Affleck as Batman was the fight scene in Batman v Superman when he was fighting in that warehouse. Holy crap, that's
the best scene in Batman history. Yeah,
that was Batman kicking ass. That sold me. I mean, the physicality, the action, everything. You know, that sold me. And actually, Batman v Superman was not a bad movie. A lot of people hated it for some reason. That was an excellent movie. And in fact, I think it was better than Justice League.
Oh yeah,
100%, 100%.
Now, him going into Justice League, I would have loved to have seen him darker. Unfortunately, that the director change made his character a lot lighter and a lot more one of the gang type, you know, not
un-Batman-like.
Un-Batman-like, yeah. So because of that kind of turned me off of him not being my favorite. But had they kept that tone from Batman v Superman, holy crap, you know, he would have beaten Keaton easily.
Yeah. What's crazy is I've seen a lot of reports like that. Some people, the guy who's like written all the animated DC stuff that's like Under the Red Hood and all that stuff, saw the Affleck script and he was like, this is the best Batman story I've ever read. Like, just point. So I wish we would have seen it. But Ruby, I know you're dying right now, so go ahead. Let's hear it.
I just want to say that if Michael Keaton ever put his suit back on, it's over for these guys. They wouldn't even be remembered. If he said 2021, I'm going to put on my suit again, how many people would go to the theater to see it? It's memorable. Everybody, it's true, right? Am I lying?
No, I agree and disagree. I think everybody would go see it. My reasoning for Keaton, and this is not like I've said this before, has nothing to do with his acting. If he put the suit on, I don't see Batman, and he's too small. Like, and I get at the time, I get all of that, but he just can't. Like, for me, like Batman is the epitome of human perfection.
I have to disagree with you. I see Michael Keaton in Batman Beyond.
Yes, I can see that. Okay? Yes,
he is still Batman, badass, and he's teaching the new Batman how to be Batman.
Yeah,
I think that fits him better. But I'm saying, like, through '89, like my interpretation of Batman is he's the epitome of human perfection. If you think about it, minus the suit, he should be able to beat pretty much anybody up. People that are literally have special powers with his hands. You have a 5'10", 175-pound soaking wet man. I just can't see it. Like, he's literally about 2 inches taller and maybe 10 pounds heavier than Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Ben Affleck is 6'4", 240 pounds. Like,
wait a minute. He also looks like the Pillsbury Doughboy in his cowl. His cheeks are all puffed out. So, I mean, there's that.
A lot of those are reshoots, too. Like, if you see when he was, like, in shape, like, he was killing it. But, no, he does have a big head.
I would poke his belly and go, woohoo!
And those little pouty lips of his.
But my thing is, just like what you were saying, LT, you know, Batman versus Superman, to me, was probably the closest thing you're going to get to a real comic book written Batman. And let me explain why. Because if you recall, everything through Batman versus Superman was all being what he is, the greatest detective. He figured everything out. You don't see that too often in a lot of the other Batman movies, you know? Where he actually went investigating. He was being that detective. You know, he was chasing down, you know, all these different things. He figured out how to beat Superman. You know, he was being what he was.
I would love to beat Superman, but that's another story.
I feel like that's a jab towards me.
Henry Cavill, holy Jesus. Anyways, go on.
Okay. So, when it comes right down to it, the fight scenes were incredible, but out of everything, that's what, to me, that's why I think he's the best Batman, to the comic book. Kevin Conroy, best Batman when it comes down to animated, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Keaton being more the originator of a dark Batman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hands down, if it wasn't because of him, we wouldn't have that dark type of Batman like the Looney Tune type with Adam West.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to Adam West, he brought Batman to the screen, and
He's a pioneer.
The Batman the animated series borrowed a lot from Tim Burton's Darkness. Yeah. I mean, even the song.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Danny Elfman's song,
Danny Elfman.
Here was the beauty that I loved about Batman versus Superman. In the beginning of the movie, who do you see? Jeffrey Dean Morgan playing Thomas Wayne at the theater. Okay?
I would have killed to have seen him in Flashpoint.
We're talking fucking dead Negan right there. Thomas Wayne. Now, could you imagine if he ended up being like a Flashpoint Batman?
And he wants to. He has said so many times like he wants to play Flashpoint Batman. Hell yeah, he nails it. I don't know if you saw, this is totally off topic, but I saw today Zack Snyder say that the Colonel from Batman v Superman, from Man of Steel as well, that was supposed to be Martian Manhunter.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah? He was supposed to be at this whole, so that was kind of cool. But neither here or there. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you on he was the closest thing to the comic version for sure. Although I will say I think I like the Keaton Batmobile the best. I think that's my favorite because it reminds me of the animated series one. I mean, and I really like the Tumbler too, but I think I like the Keaton Batmobile for sure.
I like all the Batmobiles.
I do too. Yeah, they made all good ones.
I mean, well, I don't know. Let me take that back. Let me take that back because Keaton's Batmobile was badass.
Yeah.
Christian Bale's Batmobile was badass. The Tumbler. Ben Affleck's was badass.
Yeah.
But Kilmer and Clooney.
The blue, was that the blue one? Like the one that glowed blue?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think the blue one was Clooney. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, it had icy cone inside of it or something blue. I don't know. It looked cool, but it was too cartoonish, I don't know. But now with the Pattinson Batmobile,
the Dominic Toretto one.
See, and I know we talked about Pattinson before. All right, remember, Ian? We had this conversation. We had this conversation. I'm still on the fence with him. I was on the fence with Affleck, big time. But when I finally saw the trailer, and I'll never forget the trailer, and he looked at his bat suit.
Oh, right? Yeah, I remember. I was like,
he nailed it.
I saw that for literally 2 seconds. It was like you hear Alfred say, that's what towards Good Man Cruel. When you see him, staring at his suit, and within 2 seconds, I was like, he is gonna kill this, and everybody just shut up, right then. They're like, yep, he's got it. So he had the little smirk. Yeah.
How he's gonna do it, I don't know. I gotta see the movie.
I would recommend anybody who's on the fence about Pattinson, go on Netflix. There's a movie called Good Time. Good Time or Good Times. Watch that, you'll be sold on him. He's so good.
He's a bad actor.
Yeah.
Put Twilight out of your head. Put him sparkling. Just get it out of your head.
I just can't.
He was a child.
Yeah. I saw The Lighthouse with him and William Dafoe too, and he's dark. He gets real dark. I was like, okay, but he's got to fill out. That's my nerve. Same with the whole Keaton thing with Christian Bale thing. Got to beef up, dude. A lot.
Let's talk about Christian Bale. He looks like the American Psycho guy still. That's why I don't like him. He still looks like him.
For me, it was his voice.
Oh my God.
Voice just,
Rachel!
It's still just, it's nails in my ear. I loved him, and I loved the movies, but where is she? Go away.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the only thing, the reason why that became successful was the second part was because of Heath Ledger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
He
If
made
it
the
wasn't because of
movie.
Heath Ledger, I think it would have bombed out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think even the third one, I mean, Tom Hardy as Bane kind of carried it a lot too. It never felt like when all three of those movies, or well, especially 2 and 3, like I was always waiting for the villain to come back on the screen. I wasn't like dying to see more of Batman, and even with like Keaton and Affleck, you want to see them on the screen, like they're pulling the weight, and like they're who you want to see.
The one thing I'll say about the first one, I was super excited to like really see Scarecrow and Ra's al Ghul,
Yes.
on screen. They were new characters that we didn't see in any of those other live action movies. So it was cool that they did that. And then with the third, with Talia, those are little things that go a long way with me. And their version of Bane was very interesting, and how they went with it,
Like
going
humanizing him, kind of.
Yeah, going back to Clooney, having Bane like that, like it's awesome, but it's so ridiculous to see.
He's a big mindless muscle man.
Yeah.
I'd love to touch on that. So with Clooney, I mean, he basically lived a little bit of a Bruce Wayne life. So I get the casting when they did it. So do you think had maybe he started like if Christopher Nolan would have wrote him as Batman, do you think he would have been way better than what he got with the Joel? Was it the writing or was it Clooney? I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts on that.
It might be the writing because the whole movie was campy and very, neon colored.
Yeah.
It might have been the writing.
It was pretty bad.
I mean, full of those one-liners,
especially those one-liners are so good.
To Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Everybody chill.
Yeah, everybody chill.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
Well, it's funny. I remember getting like glass mugs from McDonald's from that movie coming out, and I still have them. And that's like my one thing I remember about that movie is getting the McDonald's mugs.
Yeah, I have them.
Now I am curious of this. So we have a lot of me and Ian have talked about this a little bit. Besides Conroy, we've had Peter Weller and Bruce Greenwood voice Batman and animated stuff too. Is there like a close second or somebody besides Conroy that you love voicing Batman and the animated stuff? Because I love the Peter Weller voices. I think he did a phenomenal job in the Dark Knight Returns saga.
Wow. I haven't ever thought about it because I don't.
You just think of Conroy, I know.
It's not Conroy. I don't like it. No. Like Peter Weller, him in the Dark Knight 1 and 2. He did do a pretty, I guess, monotone dark voice for him. And Greenwood is. I don't recall any movie where he's just been Bruce Wayne, or has he played Bruce Wayne?
He's in like Gotham by Gaslight a little bit. You get a little bit of Bruce, but Red Hood, he's mostly Batman in it.
Batman, so he had a bunch of Batman. I guess he came out on, was it Son of Batman when we introduced Damian? I believe he was Batman there.
I think so.
Batman versus Robin, Blood in the Family. Maybe I might be wrong, but I mean, I could, I guess he could be my second, but a far second.
Yeah, what about you?
I want to touch on something real quick. And we haven't really talked. Out of all the Batmans, okay, obviously you got, Bruce Wayne, okay? Out of every single Bruce Wayne, I have to admit, I think Michael Keaton was the best Bruce Wayne. And I'm going to tell you why, my point. A suit on, Christian Bale didn't look right, A suit on Ben Affleck looks like he wanted to pop through it, And I think, when you see it, the scene where you got Michael Keaton wearing the suit, I mean, he looked suave. You know what I mean? He looked debonair. He fit that rich billionaire look as
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne should. So I think Bruce, Michael Keaton played the best Bruce Wayne. You know,
I'll say this. I'm a Michael Keaton fanatic, but I did not like his hairstyle in those movies at all. He could have fixed his hair. I didn't
the
like it.
1989 time frame was not a very good friend.
Style.
Yeah.
I tell you who suave, like when I've seen him dressed up, was Adam West. If they would have he could have definitely pulled that off, like the suave, non-campy, because he was a good-looking guy. And I mean, and one of my favorite, this is probably another subject for another day, but like my favorite animated episode ever is Beware the Gray Ghost, where we have Conroy and West voicing characters. I remember just like flipping out, thinking that was like the coolest thing ever.
I don't know why. Sorry.
Yeah, that episode he also played like on fandom, like he was a child loving the Gray Ghost and grew up admiring the Gray Ghost, just like we are with Batman, still loving him to this day. That's what it was. Like a ode to a fan type production.
Right. And while we're kind of on the topic of the best Batmans, and we've talked about who plays Bruce the best, if you could have a movie and borrow one of the suits, like as far as just the live action suits, which one would you pick and why?
Like borrow and take it into any other film?
Yeah, mine's the BBS Batman suit. Yeah.
I won't fit in one.
If you could have one in your house, if you were ripped and you could get in there, which one would you pick? I like the Ben Affleck one, the BVS one, because it's the most comic. The gray. I like him in gray more than black.
You even grab the one with the nips.
Yeah, I'll get Clooney's.
Oh, that means I'd have to draw mine on animated style.
Yeah. And then flipping with Batman, a companion is Alfred. As far as he goes, which character or which actor, I guess, did you think played the best version of Alfred? Let's start with you.
I don't know.
What about you, LT? Do you have a favorite Alfred?
I would like to say the recent incarnation of with
Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy Irons, only because he showed how Alfred was behind the scenes. He would help build the tech. He would, not only just serve him food, but he would, serve the tech, design the tech, test it out and stuff. We didn't really see that with
Michael Caine.
Alfred Gao version, I believe, of Batman Returns and all of them. He played the same Alfred.
Yeah, Michael Gao.
Yeah. I mean, he was just basically their manservant, and he would take their bat suit at the end of the day and put it up. We never saw him. We saw him once in Batman Returns helping Batman do like a mix CD or so, against the Penguin. But other than that, I don't remember him doing anything else.
That was the same with Michael Caine and Christian Bale. Is he was kind of just the butler and he didn't have a lot of hands in it.
I mean, not necessarily. The one in Christian Bale, you didn't see physically that he helped him, but you knew that he was helping him.
Yeah.
And he also stepped in more as that father figure.
Oh yeah, big time. What about you, Ruby? Who's your favorite Alfred?
Michael Gao, I guess. I think Alfred is always Batman's side man, right? Like, even though there's Robin, I always thought Alfred was more of his confidant than even Robin was. So that's just how you know what I mean? Like, he was his closest. So
yeah, for me, I agree. I think each of them brought a little something different. Like I really like the father figure aspect that Michael Caine brought. For me, it's Jeremy Irons, just because I could listen to him talk like all day long. Like, he's just got a badass voice. Like, I just think hear Scar from Lion King, and I'm just like, yep, I'm good. Yeah. So I pulled up our poll on Instagram, and you, the Comic Collectors Guild members, have voted 56% to 44% in favor of Kevin Conroy as the favorite Batman. So Ben Affleck coming in at a second place there. So at least the Guild, has some sense with Ben Affleck over Michael Keaton. But we got Kevin Conroy.
That was a jab.
Yeah, but I think we can all agree as far as Kevin Conroy. I think is the one character where everybody's like, yeah, like he's right there. If not anybody, I've never met anybody that dislikes Kevin Conroy like voicing Batman.
Everybody likes Kevin. Remember,
he's the most
the longest playing Batman actor out there when it comes right down.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Not only that, I mean, Kevin Conroy as a person, I've had the opportunity to meet him twice at 2 different cons, and that guy is just down to earth. He loves his fans. So, not only being admired professionally, just, as a person, people like him.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Yeah, absolutely. And he loves being Batman. Like, he's like, I am Batman, that's it. And I love that. He owns it.
That's what he wrote, autograph. I am Batman. I'm like, yes, you are.
Dang right you are. Yeah, and I mean, we see so many characters like they get these huge roles and they try so hard to be like, oh no, that's just a character. But he's like, dude, like hell yeah, that's me. Like Michael Keaton's like that too. Like I've seen interviews when he was doing like Spider-Man where they're like, dude, you're Vulture. He's like, no, I'm Batman. Like, what are you talking about? And I think it's great.
Yeah,
it's funny. Probably about a year and a half ago. A little bit off topic there, but. I saw someone selling a NECA 18-inch Batman. All right, Michael Keaton looked just like him, suit, everything, but it was a COA, certificate of authenticity, with Michael Keaton signed it.
Whoa,
that's
the box. Rare.
It's rare. It's beautiful. They have the pictures of him signing the box, holding the certificate, and they at that time I think it was like $1,000, $1,100 for that collectible, and I wanted to get it, couldn't do it, but it's there's a couple of them out there. He signed a few, and I know there's collectors. There's a collector out there that sees this. Let us know. We'd love to see. Send us a picture.
He was at Alamo City Comic-Con, wasn't he? I think the only one he's ever been to was Alamo City, as far as I know.
It was last year, and the tickets were just for a picture were about $500 to $600, and he was there for one day, and the lines were like just huge.
Oh yeah,
I would cry.
But yeah, that was his first time he had done a con, so and just happened to be here in Texas, so.
There you go. Well,
why is it gotta be in Texas? Why not like in New York?
Hey, he's a Pittsburgh boy too. I don't know why he's in Texas, but I think being the Comic Collectors Guild, we would be remiss if we didn't ask this question. All these Batman characters. What is your favorite Batman statue, figure, anything you've seen? If you could have one Batman piece, what would it be? Let's start with you, LT.
Oh, geez. Again, I said last podcast was the White Lantern Batman. He's one of 1,000 made, and that's the only figure I would actually. There's several, but that one would probably make me complete for at least a month before I'd have to go find another figure.
There you go. If anybody has that Christmas time. And LT the White Lantern. Ian, what's your favorite Batman piece?
Oh, I mean, that's so hard because I collect so many variations of collectibles, but I would love just a Hush Batman, Side Prime 1, XM, whatever, just out of my collection. I mean, I have a whole detail of Batman stuff for me, so it's such a variation of things.
Yeah, Ruby.
And I wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah, Ruby, what's your dream Batman piece that's out there right now?
You already know it's the Premium 1 Hush Batman Batcave without his cowl.
The new one.
The one I wanted, and you helped me track it down. Yeah, it lights up and everything. It's beautiful.
Yeah, what about you?
My dream piece or just the piece I want to get?
If all the Batman pieces that are available right now, if you could snag one, which one you grabbing?
I know
The
this.
one that slipped through these fingers. You know it. I've complained about it. Okay. A Dark Winter's Night Batman. Only 10 of them made in the world. You know, right now it's valued at $16,000 conservatively. Yes, it's that expensive. I had the opportunity, as the guys know, to buy that statue when it was cheaper though, and I let it slip through my fingers.
It's the white whale.
Huh?
It's the white whale. It's the one that got away.
That's the one that got away. I mean, that was, you put that statue in a safe, inside of a safe, and you forget about it. You know, look at the picture. I mean, it's a beautiful statue. And if a lot of people don't know, Google it, you know, Dark Winter's Night. It's Batman standing over the grave of his parents in a winter scene. That's awesome. It's a beautiful statue, but I want that. I'm hurting to this day.
Yeah, I hear you, dude. There's always one that gets away. For me, I actually agree with Ruby on that one. The new Prime 1 Hush piece, I think, is my favorite Batman piece that I've seen. I love that they finally took an actual famous comic print and put that into a statue. I love the art features. I love the head swaps. I think that is going to be absolutely incredible. I can't wait to see it in person because I know hopefully it's going to be right there behind Ruby in her collection here shortly. But you guys can check that statue and pre-order it on Prime 1's website. But let us know what you guys think. What's your dream Batman statue? And overall, I mean, who's your favorite Batman actor? Is it Adam West, George Clooney, for crying out loud, Val Kilmer, Michael Keaton, Ben Affleck, Christian Bale? Could it be Robert Pattinson coming up? Kevin Conroy, the OG himself. We'd love to hear your thoughts. So leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Please hit that subscribe button on our YouTube page and check out our website, www.comiccollectorsguild.com. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure to speak Batman with you guys. Do you guys have any final words regarding the Bat or anything in general?
No, man. Oh, I mean, I do want to say one thing real quick before we get off the air real quick. I know me and LT a while back, we were on Batman versus Everybody, their podcast. They have a great podcast. People should check them out. They brought us on there on a Batman versus Batman, talk. Remember that, LT? We're having that. We had a great time. It was a blast. Those guys are great. So, if somebody wants to check them out, they put Batman against everybody. So, so go check them out. I believe it's at Batman versus everybody.com.
Everybody. Yeah.
Yep, everybody. So go check them out. They're great over there.
Yeah, if you're a huge Batman fan, their content is phenomenal. So Batman versus Everybody, check them out. Next week, we have something awesome coming here at the Comic Collectors Guild on our State of the Union. We are going to be unveiling our bracket of the Comic Madness, 64 characters, 32 DC, 32 Marvel, and we're going to have a bracket breakdown to the end to find out who the strongest superhero or villain in all of superhero universes is. I can't wait to break this thing down, and we will be doing that live next week, so check us out. Again, check out our website, www.comiccollectorsguild.com, and until next time, stay hunting, guys.